Evolutionists claim that DNA is a product of evolutionary processes, which is completely absurd. The very existence of DNA proves empirically that all life forms in this world were designed. I'm going to explain that to you. DNA is information stored and retrieved using algorithms which complies with linguistics law. Information is knowledge, which requires a sender and a receiver. Now, unless evolution were a conscience, were sentient, cannot be the parent, the father of evolution of DNA, because information requires a sender and a receiver. It's knowledge. Algorithms are problem-solving procedures, which require the comparison of information and work to be done because of that comparison. Unless evolutionary processes, unless molecules themselves are sentient, evolutionary process cannot be the father of DNA. DNA conforms to linguistics law, not only within its sequences, but the entire molecule from one end to another. That's a truly amazing fact right there. Now, only intelligent beings have linguistics capability. Unless molecules can talk, they can't be the father of DNA. You see, information algorithms and linguistics are immaterial. That means they're not physical, tangible. A good allegory to this is the printed words in a book. It is not the characters of text, the ink themselves, or the pages that is the information in a book. They merely represent the information, the idea, the knowledge that exists, that is the book, is immaterial. It's not tangible. The characters only represent that which is immaterial. The same is true of DNA. The nucleotides that comprise the DNA codes themselves are not the information. They are mere physical representations of the information which exists, from which the DNA molecule is created. You see, the DNA represents the information, not the other way around. Now, it is a fact that that which is immaterial cannot create that which is material. Molecules do not have supernatural powers. They cannot create concepts, ideas, linguistics, cannot design algorithms, and they cannot produce information. This is empirical evidence, you see. This is a proven fact. The DNA is the property of God. It is God which designed it, because information algorithms and linguistics law are immaterial, and the material world cannot create that which is immaterial. Now here's a little something that kind of touches upon that from the Word of God. 1 Corinthians 15. But some will say, how are the dead raised, and with what body do they come? Thou fool, that which thou sowest is not quickened except it die. And that which thou sowest not with the body that shall be, but bare grain. It may chance of wheat or some other grain. But God hath given it a body as it pleased him, to every seed his own body. That's an illusion of design. Every single thing in this world is designed separately, specially designed and created to be unique and to have its own design. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, and another of birds. Here God is telling us that evolution is false. This is only one passage in the Bible that tells us so. God has designed the different kinds. There will be this kind. There will be that kind. There will be another kind. They do not break, and they will not and cannot break this barrier of kind. Family or genus, as you might will. Cannot happen. We do not observe it in nature. The fossil record does not support that. It only supports what the Word of God states here. There are separate kinds. They do not breach the barriers. Adaptations do not create new morphological features, new structures. No permanent change comes about from genetic mistakes, mutations. There are also celestial bodies and bodies terrestrial, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. Here God is making an allusion. You see, God is telling us that we are both physical and spiritual. He's talking about we have a body and we have a spirit. He's talking about the flesh propagates the flesh and the spirit propagates the spirit. Man can create the body. He didn't design it, but he can create it. Two human beings can have intercourse and create a new body. And it will come about by physical, natural means. However, the spirit is immaterial, and it's created by God. We are a merger of that which is material and that which is immaterial. You see, the Word of God is telling us that the spirit, that which is immaterial, is produced only by God. The body may reproduce itself, just like a DNA molecule is reproduced by proteins in the cell. That's a purely mechanical process, although stupefyingly complex, which pertains to properties of DNA, which are only properties of intelligence and could not have been designed by nature because they are immaterial. So God is telling us here that we are immaterial and we are material. That which is immaterial was designed by God. The code for DNA, the sequences of it, are immaterial. That information, which complies with linguistics law and is stored by and retrieved using algorithms, is immaterial. Furthermore, this is cool. Goes on to say, there's one glory of the sun and another glory of the moon and another glory of the stars, for one star differ from another in glory. It wasn't until the advent of modern telescopes that man knew that every star is unique. In ancient times, man thought all the stars were pretty much the same. So the Word of God is here telling us something that only modern science has discovered, that each star has a unique color spectrum, that it's of unique size, and has a unique burn rate, and a unique lifespan. But the Word of God knew it because the Bible is the inspired Word of God Himself. He wrote every single word in it. So here, we see that God is telling us that we are spirit and flesh. The flesh reproduces after itself. God creates that which is immaterial, the spirit. Information, algorithms, and linguistics law are immaterial. Nature cannot produce them. There is no evidence that it can or ever has. In fact, we know that it cannot because we know from all of our experience that information, algorithms, and linguistics law, which are immaterial, cannot be produced by that which is material. It is a scientific fact that that which is material cannot produce that which is immaterial. There is nothing in the law of science that has ever provided a single example that anything material is capable of producing something which is immaterial. Therefore, information, algorithms, and linguistics cannot be a product of nature. And because DNA uses all three of these, DNA is information stored and retrieved with algorithms which conforms to linguistics law, we have empirical proof that all living things in this world were designed by a supernatural, which means above and beyond nature, outside of nature, a supernatural power and intelligence. God bless.